For more, let's bring in CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. Weijia, welcome back from parental leave. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you guys. I always love chatting with you. You fellow moms know that it's bittersweet, but I love being back and spending some time with you guys.
It's great to see you. Weijia, as we just mentioned, President Biden is back in Pennsylvania making a couple of campaign stops. Tell us about that.
That's right. The president just took off from here at the White House a bit ago, and he'll be stopping first in Pittsburgh to talk about infrastructure, visiting a bridge that collapsed back in January that he actually happened to be in the area for back then. And he'll talk about the billions of dollars that he signed into law to rebuild the nation's infrastructure. And then he's heading to Philadelphia for a fundraiser with Lieutenant Governor Steve Fetterman, who, of course, is also the Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate. And this is actually kind of rare because the president has not been headlining these lively campaign rallies, opting instead for fundraisers and for smaller events, if you will. And that might be because his approval rating remains at 40%. And so instead, like we just saw all this week, he is really focusing on accomplishments, hammering home the things that, he has already done to make Americans' lives better, hoping that will resonate instead of, stumping next to a candidate. But I should say that he rejects the idea that he is not doing campaign rallies. He says he has been with 15 candidates and there will be more.
I love your choice of words. We just saying hammering home at the same time. That construction sounds like it's happening right behind you there at the White House. Let's talk Pennsylvania, because that Senate race is one of the races that we're watching that could actually change the nation's political landscape. What is the White House's strategy leading up to Election Day?
Well, I think it's exactly, what we are seeing play out. I think they are well aware of how the president is polling. We know that Democratic candidates are not fully embracing him and inviting him to come to their events. In fact, Fetterman is one of the few that, is so open about being directly linked to the president. So I think that they are really trying to remind people of what he has already done, because Republicans are focusing on the economy. They are blaming him for inflation, and they are trying to tie every Democratic candidate to him to illustrate that, this is what you'll be getting more of if you vote blue.
As we've been reporting, today British Prime Minister Liz Truss announced her plans to resign. Has there been any response from the White House about her resignation?
Actually, right before the president took off, I was able to ask him, did she do the right thing? And he said that's up to her to decide, but he reiterated that she was a good partner, especially when it came to the war in Ukraine. The White House sent out a formal statement that said as much, that the two nations still have a special relationship and they will continue to work together. It's also notable that the president said he did not believe that, what is happening in the UK will have an impact, will be consequential here in the U.S., which is interesting because it wasn't that long ago that he called Truss's economic policies a mistake, which was rare for him to chime in that way. And he said other people agreed with him that it was a mistake. And he brought up the fact that, this could have global consequences because of the worldwide inflation we are seeing. But today he said, that the citizens there will deal with their government, and he does not think it will impact Americans here at home.
All right, Weijia, so good to have you back. Thanks.
Thank you.